Good evening, fans. Welcome to Week 7 of Football Focus Weekly. And as you can see at the banner, we're not sponsored this week. Why are we not sponsored this week? We were sponsored last week by a great group, 92 Ways Football Academy. Body Armor has always been here as a consistent sponsor. But this week, there's nobody. This could be you. We could be pumping your brand right now when people go back and watch the playback, which is the biggest time we get the most viewers. They would see your brand, company, whatever you want to promote right here at the beginning. So, hey, if you're interested in being a sponsor of one episode or 2 episodes or the rest of the season of Football Focus Weekly, this is where your spot would run, and we can do it even more if you want us to do that. So, anyways, with that being said, let's start the show. I'm slamming this week is snow tubing. Snow tubing, number one, is not made for men of my stature. I can't deal with this Man 21 game, man. It's so terrible.
Y'all act like football stops being played when y'all leave Mecklenburg County. We play football here in Cabarrus County too. And then even though it was raining, I was rolling around in the yard doing freaking grass angels out there.
Hallelujah!
Hey.
Oh my God!
Hey, all I'm gonna say is make sure your wife, your girlfriends, your mistress, look, I'm back.
See, I got my hat on backwards. And it ain't because I'm a G either. It's because I'm angry. I'm going to tell y'all why I'm angry.
So I'm gonna have to start. This is gonna be a large group of people, so I might have to walk around with like a slime gun or a slime cannon, or maybe put the slime in like an old school super soaker.
Joe Hughes! Joe Hughes! Cowboy Joe! You know it's a big night if Cowboy Joe's here. My goodness.
Y'all always put me on blast first, man. Who am I slamming? Good question.
All right, welcome once again, Pet Man Matt Morrow, to Week 7 of Football Focus Weekly. Even though we've been going longer than that, it's Week 7 of the season. Glad to have you on. This is going to be a big show with comments. Please comment. We'll shout you out. We'll give you some love for watching. We appreciate all you viewers that tune in and watch us every Wednesday night at 7:30 like clockwork. No matter what's going on, you know we're going to be there. And tonight we have the crew here with us. First of all, we have the beautiful Queen. Like the hairstyle?
Appreciate that.
No problem. We have the producer. Looking very studious with the glasses.
Got to be, man. It got to be.
I got to get some glasses to make myself look more studious.
Right.
You be like Professor Pet Man.
Right.
Well, no, we can't do 2 professors. There's only one professor, and that professor is here. And the engine, Kenneth Big Dog McClamrock.
Only one professor
So
is
we'll go with Dr. Pet Man. You can be like the doctor of football. Oh, there we go. You got your doctorate in football.
Lord. Suggestions on Pet Man's new nickname can be placed in the comments, and maybe by the end of the show, we'll come up with a new nickname. So
No.
Oh, we got 4 comments. What do we got here? Solo Steez, what's up, man? Our producer of our lovely theme song that has been a sensation across the nation. You're the man, Solo.
Even though he thinks it's only a solo show, apparently, but we'll just leave that there.
Right. It's okay though. It's all good.
More than a negative.
So Coach Webb is already, put in his excuse for being late. That's all right.
Tell
It's
him
okay.
the link will work in the car.
Right.
And then Chris Hagler, 7:30 Wednesday night. We love you, Chris. We love you. So, Chris, if you got something you want us to talk about tonight, throw it up there and we'll talk about it for a minute or two. Thank you for the love, Chris. All right. All that being said, let's get down to business. The first thing on the docket tonight is what was something we used to do last season, and I figured, why the heck not? Let's bring it back. The rapid review. So what we're going to do is I'm going to pull Max Preps up because I like, showing Max Preps a little love because everybody else hates on them. And we're going to go through some scores here. So let's get that on the screen. All right. So just running down real quick. Russell ran big over Southland win. Ken, if you got any thoughts on that?
West Rowan is a good football team. They were our number one team in the SBC going into the preseason. And right now they're playing like they're the top seed in the South Piedmont Conference.
Yeah, tied with Concord. Is that
Concord,
correct?
ironically enough, 2-0 in the conference.
Yeah, good stuff, man. Good stuff. All right, Butler over Providence, 20-0. My thoughts on that, I talked about it a little bit on Between the Lines, the in-depth preview show we do on Tuesday nights. Butler jumped off to that 20-0 lead, and they didn't build on it. So I think this week they're going to look to, maybe refine a couple things on offense. But Providence at 1-4, they got to start getting it going. Let's scroll down a little bit because those next couple games. Well, I want to shout out Hickory Grove Christian. They're undefeated. Tad Balkum doing an awesome job. He is a Queen City Senior Bowl coach. He's a great guy. The times I've talked to him, if y'all don't know the name, he is the one that was the head coach when Sam Howell was at Sun Valley. And you see where Sam Howell is now. Heck of a coach, man.
Not a
doing awesome
coincidence.
stuff. Absolutely not. All right. Myers Park over Cardinal Gibbons, producer. You got any thoughts on that? That's overtime victory, by the way.
You know what? I'm not too surprised by that. Cardinal Gibbons, this is their second game with a team from our area. They went, if I'm not mistaken, they were very deep in the playoffs last year. So they're a great team. So I expected that to be close, but it's good to see Myers Park win a game without having to lean on their offense so much because that was the thing with them is they were always putting up points or it just felt like their offense got a lot of the attention and accolades. So it's good to for that team to get some reassurance that their defense can pull through when they need it. So that's good to see them win a defensive game.
Absolutely, that's a great breakdown, man. Good stuff. I love that. So South Meck was big over Barry. Barry's going to be in the battle again against Harding this Friday night. Me and producer will be there. We'll talk about that game a little later on, but South Meck keeps it rolling. Queen, Huff and Chambers, you were there last week. What did you think?
I was fully expecting it to be, a big time offensive game, but the defenses came to work. There was a lot of stoppage just, between, interceptions and, there was a lot of penalties that I think kind of, hurt Chambers in the end. But Huff just, proud of those guys. They stood tall in that game. And their defense had a lot to say about, going out there to play such, an amazing team. So, big shout out to Huff. For that. And, I think the biggest thing that I took from it is, a lot of people talked about them last year, myself included, Chambers and Huff, especially in the series, about how Huff came out that first game and beat them. And then that second game, they just kind of, I guess lost it. But, what somebody pointed out to me was that, Huff lost a lot of players last year. Going to college early. So, I'm really going to be interested to see how this unfolds the second, if they make it to a second game this season to play each other. So.
Absolutely. That's well said. Great breakdown, Queen. Appreciate it. All right. So Community School of Davidson over Mountain Island Charter 23-14. That's a big win for Community School of Davidson. I did talk to Coach Washington about that game. He feels like they're going to bounce back, still 3-1 on the season, but big win for Community School of Davidson, undefeated in conference play. That's a team we're going to have to start, taking a look at up there. Mallet Creek big over Hopewell 39-0. Mallet Creek quietly, I believe they're 3-1, and it's a team that we're going to have to really watch because, one of the things I said on last night's show was, there's that conference, with Huff and Chambers, we've always felt like it's a two-team race. But Mallet Creek is starting to, really come up a little bit. So
they're proving they're not dead. A lot of people just wrote them off. They had a rough spring. We get that. But that was the time to work out some kinks, and I think people prematurely just felt like, oh, Mallet Creek's falling off, and they're proving they haven't. They're still around, so that's good to see that.
Absolutely. So a couple comments before we move on here. Zena Cheryl saying the Huff JV on fire this year. I see, the JV's really starting to get some love, man. We did a top 10 JV rankings. I'll just throw this out there. It's on Instagram, but Huff is one of the top 10 JV teams in CMS. We limited the CMS because that's pretty much the JV games that I focus on when we go out to games. But I saw somewhere, Mooresville at Providence is the JV game of the week this week. And I saw somewhere, I was reading another site, not even related to our stuff. And they had on there that Mooresville and Providence was the JV game of the week, so it must be a huge game. And I felt honored because those JV kids don't get no love, man. Right. And I'm glad to see that, the JV, game of the week is starting to grow a little bit and some people are paying attention to it because, I was a JV head coach for several years. And those kids, that's where it starts. That's where it starts, man.
Is it a coincidence or are they plagiarizing?
No, it was a coincidence in this case. We ain't gonna go there. We ain't gonna go there. Joe Hughes, thank you, sir. Best show on the worldwide interwebs. We appreciate that. We're trying to do better. We have very low aspirations. There's only one, anyway, let me not go there.
I wanted to hear that, but it's fine. Right. I get it.
Okay, Kyle, make sure you post your picks, Kyle, because when we get to the prediction section and we go over all that, I want to get your proper record. So make sure you post your picks up. I want to give you that credit.
And I remember it. He picked them too. I remember that too.
He did. He sure did. The only one out of all of us. Wow, that's horrible. God, buddy. Santana Wolf, North Met coming to fight Thursday and Friday. Hey, that's what I'm talking about. You have to come ready to play. You got to come ready to play, man. Good stuff. North Meck is in a big game with Mallet Creek. I talked about that on Between the Lines. Make sure you check that out on the playback up on the Facebook page. Big Web, Shelby JV 5-0. I got to get Shelby JV in the game of the week at some point. I don't know. Anyway, let's keep going on the rapid review here. Let's go down the list here. So Concord with the big win over Central Bears. Yours truly predicted that one. No one else did. There we go. Thank you, Spiders. Appreciate it. Northwest Cabarrus continuing to do well in conference play. Big one over East Rowan. East Meck over Garinger. Producer, you got that one. What you think?
So, pretty entertaining game, man. I was glad to to go out there. Hard fought game between both teams, and it was good to see. Some growth from Garinger. They hadn't had a whole lot of success lately, but at the same time, the guys, they were energized, and you could see them. It's almost like you can literally just see them growing right then and there. They were having some success. They were right in it. I know that 31-14 probably looks more upside than the game really was because it was 19-14 late in the second half at one point. So Garinger, those guys were in it. You can see the growth, but East Meck just had a little more in the tank that week. But I commend Garinger and the coaches there and everything, and the work they're putting in. You can see them, making some progress. East Meck, great game on the ground. I believe it's number 44 was kind of the workhorse for that game, and they just made a few more plays. So nice to see them. They finally got their first win of the season. Got in the win column, but very entertaining game.
Absolutely. I was watching some of that online stream. Shout out to Coach Billups. Defense came a long way. They got an interception. And, the illustrious went running down the sideline. I was scared he's going to pull his hamstring. I know he probably stretched.
Yeah, we don't need another person out with a hamstring injury. So I'm glad he's okay.
But that's awesome, man. That's awesome for both teams for sure. Charlotte Latin over Charlotte Christian, 24-22. Great game. Happy for Charlotte Latin. They had a tough season in the spring. They're 5-0. Charlotte Christian was their biggest win to date. And they got another game I feel like they'll be favored in this week when they play Christ School at home. And Justin Wheeler at quarterback is doing amazing things. He's starting to grow into becoming a star on this level.
He looked good at camp, so it's not a surprise.
Yes, he looked good at the camp. He looked good in their 7-on-7 when they won the CFI Shootout Championship. That's a good-looking team. Coach Harden's got it going, man. And, we'll see how far they can go. And that's awesome. Charlotte Catholic over Independence, 17-6. I talked about that game a little bit last night's show. Queen, West Charlotte over West Mex, 62-13.
Let me tell you something. I'm honestly not even surprised that this game went the way that it did.
Oh, wow.
The stuff that Coach Griner is, I don't know if you want to call it blessed with or whatever. I don't know what it is, but that man has the ability to go into a school and get those guys to believe in what he's doing. And he goes out there and, as you can see, he puts up some crazy numbers, but I'm not even surprised. Like, I'm just happy for those guys, huge win. I feel like a statement win of sorts. So yeah, I just shout out to Coach Griner for that.
Yeah, you got to credit him. I mean, you beat someone 62-13. You can get all the credit you want in the world.
Right.
And that win was big for several reasons. It moved them to 3-1 on the season. It pretty much locked up the number one seed, barring anything crazy coming out of that split conference. And then those of us in the know that, Coach Griner felt really good after that game for another reason that we can't disclose publicly. But
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah. So, there you go. All right. Solo Steez. Griner's going to turn Dub C into a powerhouse.
Boy.
Well, there's something that we can have a topic about, and I think it needs to be discussed at some point. West Side football in Charlotte. We need to talk about that because it's always great when West Side football is strong in this city. You think back to a couple years ago when Harding won the state title. West Meck was really good. And if it wasn't for East Forsyth making a late fourth quarter comeback, we would have had a Harding West Meck playoff meeting in the quarterfinals. Think about that. Think about how far we've come from 2017 to now.
Right.
Harding West Meck in the quarterfinals to where we are right now. I think the talent is there, but that's another topic for another day because I can talk for a while about that.
Wow.
And hey, that's one of the things right there, Solo. That is one of the things right there. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Brother who was your brother, Santana? Let us know who your brother is. That's all right. Good stuff. All right, on the review, let's keep going. Weddington over Olympic 28-0. That was one of those games that, you looked at Olympic and you wanted to see where they were as a program. We knew Weddington was going to come in there extra ready because RGK had put 38 on them, and they had 2 weeks to get ready for Olympic, and they righted the ship. And Olympic, still at 4-1, but, I think they found some things out about themselves, and hopefully that kind of loss will propel you to greater things in your conference schedule because that's not a conference game. On down the line here, South Point losing to Spring Valley was a little bit of a surprise, but not a conference game, so it didn't really hurt them too much. Let's see. That might be about it for the rapid review for us. West Cabarrus, big win over Cox Mill. Queen, you're going to Cox Mill this week. We'll talk about that in a little bit. Lake Norman over A.L. Brown. Lake Norman with a bunch of rushing yards. I don't think they had any passing yards, but when you win by one, you don't need them. Indian Land, 23-6 over Andrew Jackson. We're going to be at Indian Land and South Point on October 15th. Going to be a big game in the 4A upper state down there in South Carolina. Indian undefeated on the season right now. Hickory Ridge over Mooresville, 45-19. Hickory Ridge keeps on rolling. East Gaston over Cherville, 50-14. East Gaston, that winning record. When was the last time East Gaston had a winning record this late in the season? Shout out to East Gaston, man. They really got it going with Coach Postel over there coming down from the mountains. Good stuff. Sun Valley, shout out to you guys. 30-0 win over Central, even after your coach stepped down. That's a way for the team to come together and get it done. Great job, Sun Valley. Let's see here. Harding, now you talk about games that look lopsided. Harding led that game 9-7 late in the second quarter at Nation Ford last week. And then Nation Ford came out of halftime like a ball on fire. I think they scored 5 touchdowns and 5 possessions. I was watching the stream. I was like, good gracious. I don't know what happened at halftime, but Nation Ford woke up. But an inspired first half of play by Harding, obviously, you know, with the news that came down. We'll talk more about Berry and Harding later on in the show. And then Richmond over Pinecrest in a great game, 28-21. So, all right, that's the rapid review. Let's see, the engine is back. Let's get him back on here. All right, let's go to the next thing. And let me switch screens right here. We're going to go to... Oh, I know Emmanuel. I know.
Oh, yeah.
Emmanuel, good dude, man.
Yeah.
Good dude. Yes, sir. Good dude. And Terrence, I agree. West Charlotte being good is good for the city, period. Hey, any West Side school being good. That's my Harding bias coming out. But
Okay to be biased.
West Side schools in Charlotte, if they're good, it is a great thing. And yes, Karen Belk, that is a good win for Forest View over Ashbrook. Great job. What's up, man? Hey. Who's that sneaking over here?
That was Noxie.
What's up, Knox? Oh, man. That's good stuff. All right, let's get to the rankings. So let me get that on the screen here. All right. Hey, guys, them shout outs in them comments, man. Let's keep them coming, man. I love it. I love it over there. Y'all doing a great job tonight. Okay, let's get the right view on there. All right, the Dirty Dozen this week. All right, not too many changes. We had a lot of wins going on in the Dirty Dozen this week. So you guys see it on the screen right there. The biggest one is the new number 12 team in the poll, Charlotte Latin, coming into the poll after their big win over Charlotte Christian. Well-deserved. They're 5-0 on the season. When you beat Charlotte Christian at Charlotte Christian on a last-second field goal at that, you deserve to be in a Dirty Dozen, and that's why I put them in there. What do you guys think?
I mean, Puff earned the spot. You know, they deserve it. Hard-earned victory. You know, they deserve to be the new number 1. Latin with the season they're having, it's good to see them get in there. That's certainly well-deserved. I think everything's pretty much situated like it should be.
Big Shelby on the show. Welcome, Big Shelby.
Appreciate it.
Now that you put that as your official name, I will respect that. Hey, Kyle, can we get that hashtag up there? Because I have no debates here. Kyle, if you're watching, throw that hashtag up there. Appreciate it.
I mean, you got some good ones, you know. Not really arguing with much of anything this week. Nothing wrong with it.
I mean, we all know that.
Hold on. I'm not perfect. Hold on. Let's see. Mr. Curtis, welcome back to the show. So the thing about that is, think about it. So AK was off, okay, but they had lost to Porter Ridge before they were off. Weddington came back with a big win over undefeated Olympic on the road. So that's the dynamic right there. I can see your argument, but it's kind of you know how polls are. It's kind of like what have you done for me lately, you know? So right now, you know, it's 10-11. It's really close. But I do see your point. I do agree. Thank you, Kyle. I like the always in there.
You gonna get that on a shirt?
I mean, we might get it on the shirt, man. I might put it in the store that I have that I don't ever promote for CFI gear. All right, so that's the Dirty Dozen this week, sponsored by the Queen City Senior Bowl. Remember, players' registration is open for the Queen City Senior Bowl. If you want to be considered to be on one of the teams, either the West or the East, make sure you go to queencityseniorbowl.com, fill out the player registration application, and then we'll have a selection process by a selection committee. And hopefully in mid to late October, the team will be announced. So there you go. All right. Hey, Chris, it's good to be stuck in the poll. It's good to be stuck in the poll. You don't want to be stuck out. A lot of teams stuck out the poll.
They said they should be higher than Shelby.
Who, Hickory Ridge?
Yeah.
Oh, I see. Yeah, I see the comment. Okay. Well,
I don't think the poll is really based off who's better than who necessarily.
I mean, all right. Well, Big Shelby, you're here. Do you agree or disagree?
I'm always take my guys regardless who's we going against. So.
Okay. I think it'd be a heck of a game. I do think it'd be a heck of a game for sure.
The way things go, we might get it.
Yeah,
you never know. You never know from week to week. We may see that.
Oh, Kyle's saying Hickory Ridge would beat Shelby. So,
I mean, it ain't the first time I've heard it. I've heard worse.
Oh, man. All right. Well, let's move on to the county poll before we get in trouble. All right, county rankings. There we go. Of course, Huff moves to number 1. Obviously makes common sense there. I did move Forrest to 2 in Gaston County, which was once again another, tough decision. But with Mountain Island's loss to Community School of Davidson, Forrest View's won 3 in a row. I think they're doing pretty good, so I think they earned that one. Cabarrus remains the same, even though I was really struggling on Cabarrus. I didn't want to kick A.L. Brown out because they only lost by 1 point to Lake Norman, so I didn't want to kick them out. And then I didn't know who to put in, So, Kenneth, you got any thoughts on Cabarrus there?
I think one team that's playing really good right now in Cabarrus County is the Cabarrus Warriors are playing really good. That's a top-notch football team. A.L. Brown obviously has lost 2 in a row. Pretty good to Hickory Ridge and a close one to Lake Norman. A.L. Brown has a lot to figure out this week, and we'll see just how the kids respond to the coaching staff this week. Talked to a couple of their coaches this weekend. Matt Pleasant and J.M. Robinson, of course, top of my list, and Hickory Ridge is in a class of their own right now in the county.
Well, thank you for that shout out on Cabarrus Warriors, man. Jamie Bolton and those guys are doing a heck of a job.
One of the hottest young coaches in our area, and it's not even close.
Amen to that. Amen. And a great guy. And he's a Queen City Senior Bowl coach on top of that. Doing amazing.
On our show.
Mm-hmm.
Things happen when you come on our show, Joe Hughes.
I'll probably see Joe next week.
Well, actually, let me say this about Joe. So, Joe Hughes, has reached out to me the past 2 weeks, and he sent me a lot of information because he knows he can't make the show because he's working. So we have a running joke about what he sends me. I'll tell you guys after the show because I can't say it on air, but it's pretty funny. But he is contributing in a grand way. So I gotta defend Cowboy Joe on that one. I do gotta defend him on that one.
Not this week though. No, nobody's defending Cowboy Joe this week.
No.
For Cowboy Joe,
No.
0.
Not that Cowboys. Mm-mm.
Oh man. Uh-oh. We got some breaking news. I wish we had a little sounder for breaking news, but breaking news on Football Focus Weekly from Karen Belk here. Independence's varsity game Friday canceled.
Wow.
Just heard from Josh Isaiah's mom. So,
Wow.
Well, we thought we had started to get past this, but apparently that's not the case. So,
Make sure your kids are wearing the mask, man.
yeah. This is still real out here, guys. COVID is still real, and I hate that for those kids. And it just is not a good thing when that happens. And we got to keep fighting, man. We got to keep doing the right things here. Social distance, wash your hands. Just keep doing the right things. We gotta find a way to get past this stuff, man. We really do. Let's see. Coach Marsh at Northwest Cabarrus is playing well. So, there's a couple considerations for Cabarrus County. Maybe we need to expand the county rankings a little bit. Give some of these other teams some love. Because Northwest Cabarrus is doing a good job, too. They've won a couple in a row. So Cleveland County remains the same. Even though Big Shelby, I did see when I was doing the show last night, Kings Mountain, Max Preps has them ranked number 1 in their class, which I had no idea. I thought that was interesting.
Number 1 in 3A?
Mm-hmm.
Hey, I only pay attention to that.
If you're a Kings Mountain fan, I'm not laughing at. I'm just saying it's just ironic.
I know they beat Asheville.
Mm-hmm.
They beat Burns. They beat Burns.
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember who else they played and beat.
Yeah, they've won 4 in a row, so they're kind of hot right now. But we'll talk about that game. They got Forrest View this week. That's gonna be a good game. Union County, we still got Porter Ridge on top. Weddington, Marvin Ridge, and Monroe. Big game between Porter Ridge and Marvin Ridge. We're gonna break down this week. And then in the Upstate, still got South Point number 1. They got a big game this week against number 4 Catawba Ridge down there. We'll talk about Northwestern at 2, Indian Land at 3, who's still doing some great stuff. Big Don M with a question. Why can't York and Lancaster County kids play in the Queen City Senior Bowl? Some of our guys need that exposure. Right now, the Queen City Senior Bowl is only limited to 5 counties, and those are the counties we feature in the Dirty Dozen: Mecklenburg, Cabarrus, Gaston, Union, and Cleveland. There are 40 players on each team, a total of 80 players across 5 counties. It is intensely difficult to get all the players that deserve recognition into that game. We leave great players out of that game every year, and it's sickening, and it hurts like hell, to be honest with you. There is a ton of talent in York and Lancaster counties. I can't tell you what the future holds. I know, the guys behind this, along with myself, we are in a partnership. It is not my game. I continue to say this every year we start talking about this. This is not my game. We partner with them, and some great guys that are behind this. But the big thing about it is, quite simply, it comes down to sponsorships, to be honest with you. If there's sponsorships and interest in upstate South Carolina, shoot me the contact information. I will pass it over to the guys, and we can have a conversation. Anything is possible as long as someone wants to put something behind it. I will say that, and I will share that because we have had those conversations. I can say that. But until someone steps up to the plate, we are where we are. Okay?
You can get us to our Under the Lights football exposure camps.
What was that?
York and Lancaster guys are welcome to the Under the Lights football exposure camps to get all the exposure they need.
Yes, they are. And I'll have some news coming up because we got something exciting. Hopefully it's going to happen in December. I had a conversation 2 nights ago about that. So they will have a chance to participate in something like that. Kyle chiming in. Max Preps also has Mooresville as a top 25 team. Hey, man, you got to be proud of that. You got to be proud of being a top 25 team. Come on, even if it is Max Preps. I love Max Preps. Anyway, that's enough on the county rankings. Let's go to CMS Best of Last, the most controversial poll out here in the Charlotte metro area. Wait a minute. I gotta make a change. My bad.
Wait a minute now.
Hold on.
I bet say, Pep, you ain't making sense.
Ooh, you about to start some fire.
We're gonna have a live adjustment here.
Never seen this.
Pep, you gotta be more professional, man. Yeah, you got to be more professional.
There we go. All right. Did y'all enjoy that?
Yes.
Part of me
All
wanted to
right.
see what would happen if you left it there.
Boy.
I'm kind of interested to see what the outburst would have been.
I hate you, Kyle.
Boy.
Oh,
Boy.
so technically, that's two shirts you can sell. Pep is perfect, and the Pep is not perfect.
That's a front. You gotta get a front and back.
Yeah, there you go.
It's not my finest moment as the host of this show. I'll tell you that much. Anyway, so the big thing here, Mallard Creek moves up to 7 as they continue to win. Olympic moves down to 8 after their loss to Weddington last week. West Charlotte at 9, big win over West Meck we talked about. And then on down the line there. So, I mean, what do you guys think here? I mean, I think it's, once I made the correct adjustment, it's pretty good.
Oh, it is. I think the top 5 is right where it should be. RGKL, they're sitting there, but I feel like Mallard Creek's gonna have something to say about that shortly. Outside of that, I feel like the bottom half is always interchangeable. Just depending on who's winning and losing week to week. So I think it looks pretty good.
Thank you, Queen. Now, the interesting thing is going to be in Myers Park, South Meck, and RGKL are all in the same conference. And we got Myers Park and RGKL playing this week, a game we're going to talk about. So once you get into some of these conference matchups, some of this stuff is going to shift around a little bit. But the big question is, can anyone on the right side move to the left? That's the big question at this point.
I don't think so.
We got a comment here. Well, we got a couple comments here. Let's see. LaShawn Parks, thank you for watching. Olympic ahead of West Charlotte, no way. Olympic only played one good team with over 2 wins. So, you can look at that dynamic, and I think West Charlotte's had a strong victory over West Meck. That 8 and 9, I think, is pretty close there.
Right.
I think, between Olympic and West Charlotte, I think we have to give credit for what Olympic did to those teams that they played. When they won those games were not close. I mean, that shows dominance. It would be one thing if they were winning kind of close games, just barely over teams that were not that great. But they dominated those 4 games. Now, Weddington did, kind of smack them in the mouth a little bit. But
it's
you still
Weddington.
have to credit the full picture there. You look at West Charlotte. I think this is West Charlotte's first real dominant victory, if I recall correctly. They had a win over Harding, 20-8. Me and producer were at that game. Harding was in the red zone 3 times. That game could have easily went a couple different ways. They defeated Independence in the game the Queen was at. That game was close all the way through. And then, we saw the big win over West Meck. So I think West Charlotte is definitely trending the right way, but you got to keep in mind what Olympic has done to those teams that they've played. Thank you, LoShawn. Hey, I appreciate it, man. We try to be fair and fair debate on here. We just don't say things and run like some other people do. But anyways, I'm going to leave that alone. All right. So let's jump to the next one here, and we're going to start looking at some games we're going to break down this week. All right, games of the week. First off, we got Myers Park at RGKL. We're going to stay on the bullet points this week because we've addressed that for 2 weeks in a row, and now I think we know what we're doing, so we're going to go one at a time. Everybody talks, then we're going to go back to the next one, and everybody talks. Okay. All right, so Myers Park, coming in here, their only 2 losses were to Beaufort, who's nationally ranked out of Georgia, and Huff, who's now number 1 in the Dirty Dozen. And RGKL comes in, their only loss was to Porter Ridge, who was undefeated, and the Queen saw that game. So, this is a big battle in the SOMEC. We just went through the CMS Best of Last. This is one of those games where now some of the top teams are going to start playing each other. Talked about this game last night on Between the Lines. It is a huge game. I think it's going to be a great atmosphere at RGKL. Producer, you had a great breakdown talking about Myers Park winning with defense instead of offense. It's a great sign for a team learning how to win in different ways. RGK has been off, so they've had 2 weeks to get ready for this game. What do you guys think on this one?
Um, I want to see what kind of energy RGK is going to bring on offense. Especially going up against a team, like Brandon had alluded to, Myers Park, that's been really good on defense. Last time I saw RGK play, they didn't really have a lot going in the offense arena, so that'll be interesting for me to see.
I agree, and that's a good point. He only put up 14 against Porter Ridge, and I thought that was a little surprising. But I mean, Mike Hertz does a great job with scheming down there in Union County, so good stuff.
I think this is a game as far as for AK. This can be a game to decide what type of season you want to have, or like moving forward. Because I feel like Myers Park can't really afford to lose another game as far as playoff goes, and AK is looking at it like, if we're going to be the team that we say we are, this is the right week to prove it. And you get the game at home, so that's a plus. And you get 2 weeks to prepare for them. So that's always a plus. So you look at, if I'm RGK, this is a game where I'm like, for me, I'm like, I can't lose this game. As far as like, you can move up in certain rankings in 4A. You can put 4A, the state of whole North Carolina on notice, like let people know, like, hey, it's another team down here in the area that's pretty good too. So if I'm the players, I'm taking this one personal.
Good point. Very good point. We're going to look at RPI rankings later on, but I will tell you guys, RGK is number 1 in the RPI rankings for this week. That's a little surprising. You start thinking about it, but yeah, we'll talk about it. Yeah, sorry if you guys are reading the comments. I'm sorry for that. We get some idiots out here. Anyway. Next game, Berry at Harding, the Battle of Allegheny. First off, I will say to you guys, there will be a recognition ceremony at the beginning of this game for Dr. Eric Ward, the former Harding principal that passed away. If you don't have anything else to do Friday night, come out and please, watch that to honor, Dr. Ward for everything he did, not only at Harding, but several schools throughout CMS. But look at the game on the field. Berry at 1-4, Harding at 2-4. Talked about it last night on Between the Lines. I think it's a pretty evenly matched game. In the spring, Berry won this game 30-0. So they have the trophy right now. If you don't know much about the Battle of Allegheny, it's a rival matchup that these two schools do not like each other at all.
Out.
No, they don't.
and correct me if I'm wrong. I don't think there's a rivalry out there where the schools are closer in proximity than this.
Right.
How far are they apart?
Like a
4-minute walk.
Yeah.
Less than a mile.
I was at that game.
You literally go through one traffic light and you're there, basically.
It's not pretty.
Yeah, so, the biggest thing for this one, number one, when these things, happen, and you gotta, and unfortunately, I think all of us involved with football have had to deal with tragedy at one point or another. And, it can do one or two things. It can galvanize you, or it can, kind of affect you, So, Harding going out there having a lot to play for, not only the Battle of Allegheny, but obviously for what happened. It's how they start this game will be very interesting to me on the field. You look at it, if it's a high-scoring game, it favors Berry. I think they have some offensive, players that can make some things happen with Jaleel Quick, Antoine Bell, Christian McDonald, Christian Hale out of the backfield. If it's a lower scoring game, it favors Harding. In their 2 wins, they played very strong defense, giving up 0 points to Garinger and 7 to West Meck. You guys got anything to add on that one?
That was a good assessment. Exactly what you said. Who it favors in different situations, I think that's spot on.
Santana Wolf sharing, funny thing is they started as one team. I told that story last night on Between the Lines. When Berry opened, the first year they didn't have their football stuff together, so they didn't have a team. And they didn't have seniors. So what they did was all the Berry kids that wanted to play football played for Harding. And most of the Berry kids were on JV. I think we had maybe 2 or 3 Berry kids that played varsity. And what Berry wanted us to do at Harding, because I was on the coaching staff, they wanted us to make the whole JV just their kids. And they wanted to come over there and coach them. And we said absolutely not. So I think that's kind of what started the rivalry.
You started this.
It wasn't just me, I tell you that much. But they did start as one team, so that's accurate, Santana. That's good stuff. Yeah. I got a lot of stories about that I can tell off camera. But anyway. Next game, South Point at Catawba Ridge is the big game in the upstate of South Carolina. South Point ranked number 1 in our county rankings down there. And then Catawba Ridge ranked number 4. And they're both ranked in the state poll in South Carolina 4A. So South Point, both of these teams coming off losses. South Point losing to Spring Valley last week 14-7. Catawba Ridge losing 2 weeks ago to South Mex 17-3. Producer, you were there. What do you think about Catawba Ridge? Producer.
Oh, Catawba Ridge. My bad. Kind of zoned out for a second. Catawba Ridge, you can tell. I mean, we really can't judge them based on their the game I saw against South Mex. The pieces are there, and just no matter how good you are, how many good the pieces you are, sometimes you just have an off night. And that game against South was just not their night. But they're a really, really good team, and I think people in this area, Charlotte area, don't judge Catawba Ridge off of that game against South Mex. But they're a really good team. They just had off night that night, and let's not put it all on Catawba Ridge having off night. South Mex is a great team, so let's give them credit where credit is due. But Catawba Ridge, Jaden Davis, very dynamic quarterback, only a sophomore, only improving. South Point's a great team, so I think this is a great matchup. I mean, we kind of know what South Point is, so I think this is also a good measuring stick for Catawba Ridge. I expect a good game. Two really good South Carolina teams here.
Absolutely. Big Shelby, what can you add about South Point? You guys obviously faced them.
I'm pretty sure that those guys and those coaches are gonna have them ready to bounce back from last week. I didn't really see. I heard they lost. I didn't really see any highlights, but I know that team is probably gonna come out motivated. I know they did have. I know at first I didn't think they got to practice a lot at first because they had things with COVID and things like that. But I feel like the coaches and these players will be ready to bounce back against this team because they don't want people feeling like they seeing blood when they see them. So I'm pretty sure those guys gonna be ready for this game.
Yeah, I agree. The big thing that game last week that against Spring Valley, they gave up 9 sacks, and Joe.
Well, they had the opposite thing. They had the opposite thing happen to them. What they did us then.
Mm-hmm.
That's surprising. Yeah. I mean, I know from that O-line from going against them, I know they're big guys. They're big guys. So I'm sure if they have a team that's capable of playing 4 quarters with them, I can see where those guys may have got fatigued up front.
Mm-hmm.
And I know a lot of the guys, they're not really big and agile. They're big and if they can get their hands on you, then that's how they stop you. But if you can try to find a way to send some pressure, send some blitzes, some different ways, if you have the guys capable to do it, I can see I can see how they gave up 9 sacks.
Yeah, one of the things I hated when I was an O-line coach was seeing fast guys. Because big guys, I felt like we had a big line. We can go toe-to-toe with big guys all night long. It's the fast guys that, would start twisting and stunting and all that stuff. And, it would be hard. It would be hard. We have to do some different things and, different protections. And, once you get an O-lineman thinking instead of reacting, it's hard. It's hard. Next game, Porter Ridge at Marvin Ridge. I gotta ask y'all. I said this on Between the Lines last night, and it was just me, so I was talking to myself and the 15 people that were watching, which was awesome. But where in the hell did we get all these damn ridges all of a sudden around here?
Boy,
Porter Ridge, Marvin Ridge, Ridge Road
Catawba
Elementary,
Ridge.
Catawba Ridge. Where is this coming from?
Came out of nowhere.
Like all of a sudden we start building new schools and then everything's a ridge. I mean, what is a ridge? I mean, I know what a ridge is, but it's not an area.
It sounds cool, I guess.
No, it doesn't sound cool. When they built, I think Porter Ridge was the first. When I said, who is Porter Ridge? I thought it was a person. But then I started seeing the other ridges. I'm like, okay, the Ridge family must be real popular. But then I don't know.
I think you can
All
get
right.
more. I think you get more funding if you put Ridge on your name.
Is that? Well, let's.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
I want to rename Harding to Harding Ridge, please.
Or Allegheny Ridge.
Allegheny Ridge.
Yep. Let's try that, man.
I like Allegheny Ridge High School. That's got a
Yeah,
good
there
name.
we go.
Yeah, try that.
And
Man, let's
you get a
try
big
it.
AR on your helmet. Hey,
Yeah,
What?
that's good. That's good,
Let's
man.
do it, man.
So Joe is saying Catawba Ridge is on an actual ridge. Can somebody? I mean, come on, man. What the world? What
Some historian
so
will
put
come
a
break it down
definition
for
a
you, I'm
ridge?
sure.
A ridge is like a little bump in the hill, right? That's what a ridge is.
you know Joe is a historian, man.
I mean, I know he's all knowing.
You know he's about 52, so he done seen a lot.
So Karen Belk saying hilly Piedmont ridges. So I'm just confused, but
Okay, well, makes sense.
well, whoever named them Porter and Marvin and Catawba, I don't know.
And Hickory.
Well, my good friend Nikisha chiming in. Is a ridge half a bridge? I regret bringing this up already.
Boy,
Thank you, Nikisha, for the academic joke there. But thank goodness gracious. Back on the topic here. Great game in Union County because Porter Ridge is undefeated. Marvin Ridge only has one loss. That one loss is to RGK. But by the transitive properties of figuring things out, Porter Ridge beat RGK. RGK beat Marvin Ridge. Therefore, Porter Ridge should beat Marvin Ridge, correct?
I understand your deductive reasoning, but it doesn't always play out like that.
I think that's going to be the case this time.
I just think you never know this year who could win
You're right. You're absolutely
because
right.
Well,
somebody
I mean-
somebody may lose a kid to COVID at 12 o'clock.
Yeah,
like,
that's
you,
true.
like you just
That
kids
is
get put on game day.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy. So,
But outside of that, though, but if they do that, if one person gets it, are they not going to then just like
the
mix
rules
the
are
whole
very.
team?
Nah, the rules are very. Maybe we need to have a segment on that one day. The rules with COVID and the kids is just. It's all based off if you're vaccinated or if you're not vaccinated. How close was you to the person? How long were you around the person? So it's just it's a
A lot
lot.
of variables. A lot of variables.
Yeah, it is. And then everyone's variables are different on top of that.
Yeah,
because
it's very different
that's
for most people.
that's the problem because there's I mean from what I know, I think the CDC said 15 minutes of exposure around
15 minutes.
Yeah, but then not everyone's using that. So
Yeah, so that's 15 minutes with no mask on around somebody that has it.
Right. So, it's crazy variables, man. But, the thing, you start looking at Porter Ridge, Marvin Ridge. Marvin Ridge went and played Alexander Central last week. Yeah, the comments are crazy. But I'm trying not to keep going on that. But Marvin Ridge played Alexander Central last week. And Alexander Central, runs an offense that's, kind of similar to Porter Ridge. So, that helped them get ready for this game, and that was good planning. Knowing that when they were going to play, this team. They're in the same county, but that doesn't necessarily mean these teams always play. Porter Ridge has been in 4A longer than Marvin Ridge, who has made the jump this year with the realignment. So the big thing I'm expecting here is a great environment down at Marvin Ridge. I mean, those Union County teams are something else when it comes to fan support. And Queen, you saw that when you went to Porter Ridge. It was just incredible.
Right.
Yeah. So it's going to be a
Yes.
great environment down at Marvin Ridge on Friday night. Scott Curtis with the last word on this one. Key is run defense. If Marvin Ridge gets Porter Ridge off the field, Marvin Ridge offense will score points. Very good point. But we did see Porter Ridge is able to do some other things besides running the football. I saw they had this big receiver number 4 that the quarterback number 10 Carroll hit him down the seam with a nice pass. That was a good highlight you got on that one, Queen. We put that out on Instagram. That was one of their big plays, and then they're able to get in space with the screen pass. Big Porter Ridge offensive lineman Will Hart, big 74, was rumbling down the field, man. I love to see big linemen rumble down the field and get on them DBs and start running away from them. I love seeing that, man. It's fun stuff. All right, next game is Forest View at Kings Mountain. Forest View's won 3 in a row coming into this one. Kings Mountain has won 4 in a row coming into this one. And I do have some information from Cowboy Joe on this one that I'm going to share. Last week, Forest View shut Ashbrook out 24-0. Kings Mountain shut out North Gaston 56-0. It's the Big South 3A Conference Showdown this week. Forest View travels to Kings Mountain for the second time this calendar year for their matchup. Kings Mountain won this game in the spring 39-7. Expect Kings Mountain to rely heavy on the run game. Through 5 games, Kings Mountain running backs have 160 carries opposed to 86 passes by the quarterbacks. Forest View will counter with a strong defense of its own, led by lineman Christian Williams as well as linebacker Jacob Neely and Noah Comer. Forest View's defense has given up 13.2 points a game. Kings Mountain defense has been better, giving up 11.4 points per game this season. Also, Kings Mountain's defense has 14 sacks on the season, led by Peyton Fisher, who has 5 of those sacks. And then defensive back DeAndre Hoyle has 6 interceptions this season for Kings Mountain. So, Joe Hughes with the big-time information. Thank you for that one, sir. What do you guys think about Forest View at Kings Mountain?
I know historically their games always be pretty good. They always have good games between each other. So I think that's one of their rivalries outside of playing Cleveland County or Forest View playing in Gaston County. So I'm pretty sure, just based off the information Joe put, it's going to be based off who can stop the run. Forest View defense has only gave up 13, and he said they 3-0. So I'm sure that's what Kings Mountain is going to try to do. They're going to try to run the ball. I think that's one of the biggest things. That's like one of the only things they're capable of doing pretty good is running the ball a lot. And so it's going to be one of those games where they're just going to come out and see who can stop whose run game. I think as far as you can get Kings Mountain in a position where they have to pass more than they run, then I feel like Forest View can win the game.
I agree with you. Even though the Kings Mountain quarterback, I think Lamont Littlejohn is his name. He's a good-looking kid, man. I think he's capable, once he, gets the opportunity to kind of throw it around a little bit. So that's going to be a fun game down there at Kings Mountain for sure. We're going to stay out to the west. We got South Point Red Raiders going on the road to take on the Crest Chargers. And Cowboy Joe's got some information on this one as well. So last week, South Point defeated Hunter Huss 42-7, and Crest beat Stuart Kramer 35-16. This game Friday will be the 39th meeting between these two storied football programs, with South Point holding a 23-15 lead in the all-time series. However, lately Crest has taken the 5 of the last 7 matchups. Spring 2021 season snaps a streak of 19 consecutive football campaigns in which Crest and South Point met on the gridiron. Both of these teams are undefeated in Big South 3A play, so a huge conference game for sure. The Redbone offense at South Point is led by Tyson Riley, and I'm going to have an interview with Tyson coming up soon. This kid, I love the way he is on social media. 943 yards already on the ground and 12 touchdowns this season. Now, South Point hadn't played that many games, y'all. That's crazy numbers. And they got a big offensive line that's led by Sullivan Absher and Jacob Patterson.
Big Sully. Big Sully
yeah.
like 6'5", 6'6" too.
Yeah, man, he's nasty. He is nasty, man. And they hope to open holes against a Crest defensive line led by Eli Hall, another nasty defensive player. Good gracious. But Crest can run the ball too, of course, we know, with Mari Adams. He's rushed for more than 170 yards and 2 touchdowns in his past 3 games. He also has a touchdown catch in the last 2. The guy to watch on defense for South Point is Ryan Harris, who leads the team with 49 tackles. Winner of this game will earn a share of the Big South 3A lead. So, Big Shelby, what you think about those guys?
I think this game is for the conference championship. I believe. I believe these two are the 2 best teams in that conference. South Point, playing South Point, you have to be. Might as well don't even worry about running passes that week of practice. Be ready to literally stop the run because they will run the ball 60 times if they have 60 plays. So you have to be ready to stop the run. If they feel like, when I mean stop the run, that means a 3-yard carry is good for them on first down.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to try to limit their. You have to get them to keep them to 2nd and 8 and 3rd and 6 and 3rd and 7 because they will run the ball. Like their offensive line, it's a different form of the wing T because they do cut. And I know we made up a defense that Shelby to stop what South Point does. I'm not sure. I'm sure Crest will try to run some similar variation of what we do, but I'm anxious to see how Crest D-line will play. I know with my guy Eli Hall, with them running that 3-man front. I don't think the 3-man front is very good against the South Point team where they do it because, I mean, you can have it's worked for them in the past with certain guys that they had at Crest. So you have to literally have 3 dogs if you're gonna do a 3-man front against that South Point offense, man. So I feel like it's gonna be a game of 4 quarters because Crest does a lot of good things well too running the ball. Because Crest will come out and run the ball. Mari Adams actually. He's always played football, but he just started playing football at Crest this year. He was a basketball player, and he's a big physical running back. So I know Crest will rely on him and give him the ball a lot if they need to. So it's gonna be the battle of. I think it's gonna be a defensive battle. I would think it might be. I think it might be one of those low scoring games. One of the games in the 20-point range. Just based off the fact that South Point will hold the ball. So you have to be able to stop them. Like it's been played times where South Point may have one drive that lasts 7-8 minutes.
That's good
So
stuff.
it's one
Big
of those
Shep.
where you just have to be ready. I feel like that's gonna be a hard-nosed ball game. It's gonna be a close game.
That's a great breakdown, man. It's awesome. So Joe Hughes saying going to come down to Tater.
Joe. They don't know him by that. He's talking about Crest quarterback. He's gonna come down to Crest quarterback. He's a young guy,
okay.
a young kid.
Okay.
I believe he's a freshman or sophomore. But his first year starting. I feel like this is gonna be. I'm not sure if they played anybody else in the county yet, but this probably won't be one of his biggest games. It's gonna be at least he gets the game at home. He gets to run in his home fans. He's been doing a lot of good things on film. He's able to run the ball as well as throw the ball too. So South Point have to make sure they contain him, or he can break loose and run with Adams. So
thank you, Joe, for this. Nitavius Husky. So
yeah,
that's who Tater is. Good stuff. So we wish Tater a good game on Friday. Why y'all laughing, man? That's what he said his name is. Come on, that's a great. We need to have a segment on great football nicknames.
Football names, yeah.
I'm telling you, because they used to call me Bruh Man when I was at Harding in the 9th grade, and
From the 5th floor?
5th floor, baby, 5th floor. Thank goodness this is the last game. A.L. Brown is going to Cox Mill. And this is
Ryan win last week.
No, they did not.
No.
Oh, don't worry. That's coming up next. I can't wait. Anyway, Queen, this is your game. You told me you did some research, so.
Well, I mean, I did a little bit. I did find out that this is the first conference game I think for A.L. Brown, but it's like the third for Cox Mill. So I know that this is a big game for both. Obviously, A.L. Brown needing to come in and getting a win, to start their conference play for Cox Mill. I mean, they need this win, for a number of reasons. So I'm looking for. I think I've come to terms with the fact that I am a defensive girl. Like any game that I go to, I'm always looking at the defenses. So I'm really interested to see, how both defenses are going to come out, if they're going to give each other a hard time. That's really what I'm looking for. So I'm excited.
Yeah, we'll be excited. I need to reach out to Coach Baker. Coach Baker, if you're watching, the Queen's going to come up to Cox Mill. So
I'll be there.
She'll be there.
Yes.
I was going to say something else. I forgot. Good. It's been a long day. But this is a big game for both of these teams. It's been a tough time recently. Both teams need a win desperately to break some losing streaks. I think it's been 3 in a row for Cox Mill, 2 in a row for A.L. Brown. So big game up there in Cabarrus County for sure. All right. Prediction standings. Oh,
Wow.
my God. What a horrible week for you guys. Goodness. I was laughing so hard when I looked back on the video and I said, oh, you guys. Oof.
Insider trading. Insider trading. You had all that info from Hughes and used it.
Well, all I can say is at least I'm not last on the list.
I'm not at the bottom. I got 2 right.
I'm trying to scroll back and put Kyle's picks up on the screen because I know you posted them. Let's see. So Kyle had Myers Park, Central, Crest, Richmond. That was a pretty good week.
I'm on the internet.
I think 4-2. Let's see. You got Myers Park, you got Crest, you got Richmond, and you got Huff. Well, you get 2 points for Huff, so you had 5-2. That's not bad. Not bad, Kyle. Good job on that one. Yeah, well, 4-2. But you get two picks, 2 points for Huff. So I was trying to help you out a little bit. But anyways, so I'm the winner of the week, but I didn't make a video. So just as a winner of the week speech, all I want to say is make sure you eat your vegetables, take your vitamins, and do what your parents tell you to do. Pep Man's words of the day. Winner of the week. That's what winners do.
Congratulations, Pep, man. If ain't nobody tell you, man, congratulations.
Hey, thank you, Big Shelby. You're the only one. I appreciate it. The people that really need to see it are not here, unfortunately. But that's okay. That's okay, because when I put this up and I tag them, I'm sure they'll tell me congratulations. I'm sure of that. I'm sure the Engine and Illustrious would say that, because they're good guys.
The Engine will. Illustrious won't. I already know that. I'm just gonna throw that out there. I get to talk junk because he ain't even on the show. So yeah, I'm talking smack. He ain't gonna say nothing.
Oh man. All right. So let's look at this week's predictions. And if you want to join in on the predictions, feel free to post them in the comments.
Oh my God!
We'll give you some love.
What's up with these games?
What is the problem?
Nah, I'm just messing with you, man. I don't have no dog in this. Like, I don't know nothing about none of this.
Now, when I went really out there, y'all thought I was crazy. Now I put more relevant games up.
No, I'm good.
Okay.
I'm good with this.
All right. Well, let's go down the line. So, and I'll go first since y'all have a problem with me going last every time. I'm trying to correct all these issues in predictions, so y'all ain't got nothing else to say. All right, Porter Ridge at Marvin Ridge. I'm going to go at Porter Ridge. Producer.
Porter Ridge.
Big Shelby.
Porter Ridge.
Queen.
I'm going Porter Ridge.
All right, clean sweep. A.L. Brown at Cox Mill. Give me Cox Mill. Producer.
Cox Mill.
Big Shelby.
I'll go Cox Mill.
Queen.
So I actually was looking at A.L. Brown's quarterback earlier, and I really like him. I think he's going to do some good things. So I'm going to go A.L. Brown.
Okay. York at Indian Land. I am going to take Indian Land. Producer.
Indian Land.
Big Shelby.
I'll go York.
Queen.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think I'm going to go York.
All right. Thomas Jefferson at East Gaston. Not the president, but the school. I'm going to keep rolling with East Gaston. They've been good to me. East Gaston. Producer.
I'm gonna go East Gaston also. They're on a roll this year.
Big Shelby.
I'm gonna go East Gaston.
Queen.
Yeah, I think I'm going to go East Gaston on this one.
All right. Battle Allegheny Berry at Harding. I have learned my lesson. Harding. Producer.
Gotta go up on Harding.
Big Shelby. Big Shelby.
Is he free? Or is he
Big
being real
Shelby.
still?
I'm gonna go Harding too.
Oh, there we go.
I was gonna say, look, if he don't come back, he has to go. We got to go put him down for Harding.
All right, Queen.
I'm going to go Harding.
Clean sweep. All right, bonus. Panthers at Cowboys. Panthers.
I'm going first. I'm picking the Panthers.
Well, we got it second, but that's okay. Producer.
Come on. You already know. I only got to answer this one. Just put me down. You already know what it is.
Big Shelby.
I gotta go with the Panthers, man. I'm an Eagles fan, man. I hate the Cowboys. I need somebody to whoop them how they whooped us. Goodness gracious.
You know, and what I was going to say was, thank God for Peyton and Eli's broadcast on ESPN too, because that was the most entertaining thing this past Monday night.
All right, now, Pep. Just get this. We rebuild it. Our boys still on the Super Bowl hangover.
But my ex-husband is an Eagles fan, so I've hated the Cowboys for a long time.
I think we got a lot of internal problems, man, because I seen when one of the guys jumped off sides, the coach was like, it's always him. So I think we got something going on in the locker room. Yeah, you know.
Oh, Lord.
Oh man! All right, so good stuff on the Blitz tonight. When predictions, good job, excellent stuff, guys. We're gonna jump to the RPI rankings now. So let me get that on the screen here, and we'll take a look at the new RPI rankings that have been released by the NCHSAA. So let me get the right thing on there. Here we go. All right, so y'all see that? All right.
That's very surprising, right there.
Yes, it is. So starting with the 4A West, we see Archie Kill is number 1, and they give the breakdown. So the biggest strength for Archie Kill right now is their opponent's winning percentage. You see it's 875, and I think we can sort that. No, we can't sort it. Well, I'd figured 875 winning percentage is probably the biggest opponent's winning percentage out there, and that's the biggest part of the formula, who you play. So that's why Archie Kill is ranked number 1.
It doesn't make sense because if you have Chambers and Huff was 1 and 2 last week, wasn't they? Well, they were like 1 and 4 or 1 and they were top 5.
Yeah, they were, and
they play each other. Like they play each other, then they get demoted. The team that won get demoted, and the team that lost gets demoted.
Yeah, I wish they would show the previous week rank so we could see the changes, because that'd be very interesting to see. NCHSAA, if y'all are listening. But
yeah, Algie Perry didn't play last week.
No, they didn't. They sure didn't. So, and then
who did Porter Ridge play?
I think they were off too. I'm pretty sure they were off. But you know, that's one of the things you look at with the formula. You know, the biggest part of the formula is the opponent's winning percentage, which is interesting. You know, because you would think winning percentage would be the biggest part of the formula, but it's not. It's the 30%, and then your other opponent's winning percentage is 30%, and then the opponent winning percentage is 40%. So, you know, his first year. Maybe that's something they tweak down the line, but um, so these are your top teams in the 4A West. Now we do have movement week to week, so that's why we're going to look at this every week to see who's trending up and down. And then when we finally get closer to the playoffs, we can start kind of projecting what seeds people would be. Right now Huff's big win over Chambers puts them in the catbird seat to be number one out of that conference, so they're going to be a high seed in the playoffs. RGK's got some tough conference games coming up, and so does Porter Ridge. So, Huff right now, in my opinion, would probably looking like to be the number one seed out of the 4A West, because they're highest in the RPI, and they've won what I believe is their toughest conference game already. And then you see on down the line, once you get deeper into this, you start looking at teams that could possibly be wild card teams. So a team like Mooresville, even though they're 2-3, they're 19 in the RPI. So that's going to give them a good chance to be one of the first wild card teams selected. So, and one other thing I want to look at, the NCHSAA used to have that minimum win requirement for teams to make the playoffs. I don't know if that's still there with this new ranking or not. It may just fall back straight to the RPI. So that's something we got to check on, because theoretically you can have a Mooresville team at 2-3 ahead of a South Meck team at 5-1 that we hold in high regard. But the RPI says, hey, Mooresville's higher. So interesting dynamic right there, for sure. Let's drop down. Let's go to 2A West. We'll take a look at where Big Shelby is.
I know who should be.
Hey, at the top, number one, Big Shelby. There you go. So
See, what I was saying about this last time, see, like with Chase, they're 5-0. And I'm not taking nothing from nobody, but it's just based off OWP tells you where I'm going. And it's just one of those where it's like, well, I feel like what we've been saying is people, they're going to start making you play quality teams if you want that playoff recognition. Because I know last year in football, the argument was from the teams in the mountains. They were saying, well, we don't never get home games.
Well, the interesting thing about Chase,
I feel like this is going to be an eye opener for a lot of teams as far as scheduling next year.
Absolutely, because you look at Chase, you look at their opponent's winning percentage, it's only .350. But what's helping them out is the opponents that their opponents have played is at .590. That's a saving grace for them right now, because if it was just the opponent's winning percentage, they'd be lower. Because you look at the top 10, by far that is the lowest opponent's winning percentage there. So, and then Bunker Hill at 11 is the same deal. And some of that is just maybe they're not playing in a very well. They played non-conference already, so But you're right. Maybe we see some scheduling adjustments. Good. Southwestern Randolph, a .217 opponent's winning percentage. I mean, that's tough.
Then now it's going to be one of those where we might get to see some of those playoff matchups that we would see with some 2A teams. Somebody's going to have to start calling each other for non-conference because, like I said, I mean, like people are not playing anybody.
Right, exactly.
And then I know with 2A, I mean, I know like you don't want to necessarily play Shelby for a red non-conference game or Reedsville for a non-conference game or have to travel all the way across the state to go play like East Surrey or stuff like that. I mean, all that stuff is understandable, but if your playoff season is gonna hurt you because right now, I mean, you may get one playoff home game. I don't know what school that just wants one if they're able to make it. I don't understand. So I feel like this is gonna force people to play each other. Like I know, like we would have no problem playing Maiden. Like we've played Maiden before. I know East Surrey is a new team that's out there. We played Salisbury, like so we played pretty much all those teams that's in that top 7, but East Surrey before. So it's one of those where it's gonna force people to start calling each other and say, "Hey, let's just play."
Exactly. So a couple comments on the RPI. Scott Curtis last week. Chambers was 1 AK2. So Chambers losing that game to Huff falls down 3 spots. Miss Burlow saying this stuff makes my head hurt. That's why we're here, Miss Burlow. We try to be a little bit of a pain takeaway for you. And Randy Fullmore, appreciate you coming out to the Mooresville JV game tomorrow at Providence. Hey, excited to see you guys in action, man. Hopefully you put on a show. We can get you on a highlight. Scott Curtis, hopefully this keeps the 4 best 704 teams from being in the same bracket. Amen.
No, I mean, I think they'll still be in the same bracket. There's no way to split them up. You're all going to be in the West. It just means you probably won't play each other first round, but you're definitely playing each other second or third round.
Well, I know what he's saying because it seemed like the second round with this arbitrary, random seeding that the state had, it just seemed like every time there was a big second round matchup that should be a regional final. So hopefully.
But you got to look at it too, where like most of the 4A schools in North Carolina are in Mecklenburg County. Yeah. Like y'all have 19. Y'all have 19 schools. At least 15 of them are 4A schools. Probably 16, 17. I don't even know if y'all have a 3A school in Charlotte. I don't even know.
West Charlotte and West Meck.
So you got 2 schools. Mm-hmm. And think about, and nobody on the other side, they're like more spread it out. So
that's true. Speaking of West Charlotte, they're ranked 11th in the 3A West RPI, so they're sitting in a pretty good spot right there. And then on down the line, you see the other teams there. All right. And then, West Meck is 31st. So if you guys want to check this out, it's nchsaa.org/football-RPI-ranking. But you can just Google NCHSAA RPI, and it'll come up. So they have it in a pretty good format. I do wish it would show the change from week to week. That would be pretty cool to look at. But anyway, that's where we are with the RPI this week. So we'll look at that every week leading up to the playoffs. Okay, real quick before we get to the slime time, which we're gonna have to have a different host for slime time tonight. I don't know where the engine went.
You left a comment.
That's on the. Oh, there he is. You speak him up and he appears.
Hey, I got his back, man.
Welcome back to the show.
I'm on the internet with who I'm gonna slime tonight.
Sound like a real time slime.
I kind of
slime somebody in real time.
I kind of just want to go to slime time real quick, but
go ahead and go to slime time, Pep. Let's get it out of the way. Let's go ahead and get it out of the way.
Well, we got to take a couple minutes to talk NFL college football because there's been a lot going on.
Oh, I don't think we need to talk about nothing. Panthers are 3-0. They're balling. They're doing great. That's all you need to talk about. Let's move on.
Queen, I'm going to give you a minute to brag freely about the Panthers since you have no interference this week.
No, you know what? I'm not even going to do that because the person that I wanted to brag to ain't even here. So, but
I'm going to be 4-0 after Sunday, so just wait 10 minutes.
Well, I mean, the thing of it is, and this is the only thing that I'll say about it. I know that we aren't necessarily the best, undefeated team right now, but we're undefeated. And that's something that you're not going to be able to take away from us until such time that a team comes in to beat us. And so I think that deserves a certain level of recognition, and not necessarily from him, but from the people that I hear on the media every day, and so I'm just, I'm proud of my boys, y'all 3-0. Let's go out here and get these Cowboys this Sunday. And that's all I got.
Man, it's a depressing time for the ACC, man. Depressing time for the ACC. My goodness. Nobody wants to step up and be the dang on team out here. I mean, I'm listening to the radio, and we love Wake Forest. Well, the coaches come on the show, real good guys, but Wake Forest is not going to represent us in the college football playoff. I mean, it's just not.
Did you see the updated ACC rankings?
No, I hadn't seen it.
All right, so they have Wake Forest number 1, Boston College 2, NC State 3, Virginia Tech 4, Clemson 5, Pittsburgh 6, Louisville 7, Miami 8, Georgia Tech 9, Carolina 10.
Good gracious. Wake
Tough
Forest
time to
and
be a
Boston
target.
College. Now, like I
Hey,
said, I
Boston College
love.
is undefeated. Boston College is undefeated. They are
Now,
undefeated.
I'm gonna tell you something. That coach, since he's been up there, he's done a good job because he's changed that whole thing around at Boston College.
Then
They used to
with
be
NC
old
State,
school. Yeah, go ahead, Will.
then when NC State, one of our guys played there, he told us that they are like, I think they're like one of the only schools, if not the only school in the nation, that had all 22 returning starters.
Ooh, wow.
Wow, that's big.
Yeah, that's
And
awesome.
rare.
So he told us,
Rare.
he was like, don't be surprised how good he said, don't not be surprised how good NC State will be.
Well, ask them what happened when they played at Mississippi State because I watched that game and I was like, "What is going on?"
They beat Clemson, though,
here?
so that's all that matters.
Hey.
They took down the ACC King.
Yo.
They took down
Well,
the
see,
King.
That's the problem, though. That's the problem. We go out of conference and we can't beat the ninth best team in the SEC and
Hey,
come in
it's all
here and
about
beat up on each
hey,
other.
The engine knows, man. It's all about matchups. It's about matchups, game schemes. You see Carolina and Georgia Tech. You couldn't pay me to think Georgia Tech was going to score that many points on Carolina.
You couldn't pay me to watch that game either. Oh, I was so.
Like, I'm just saying, like, you just never get college football today, man. You just never know.
that many.
Yeah, I just think football today, right now, I just think you just never know what'll happen. Like, I feel like you just don't, like, you just never know.
But you know what has so much to do with it is that extra COVID year that teams got, that players got.
Yeah.
So the Mac Daddy schools, the Blue Bloods, they all had guys go off to the league. I mean, even look at Carolina; they had 4 skill players on offense go to the league.
Yeah.
It's tough to replenish that when other schools like Wake Forest, who didn't have anybody go to the league, but have a bunch of these super seniors, these not fifth-year seniors, but 6-year seniors. Take the quarterback at UNC Charlotte. Man, I coached against that fool. Well, I say fool, you know what I mean. I coached against him when he was at I mean, that dude has been at UNC Charlotte for longer than some people have, some marriages last. I mean, it's phenomenal because he's gotten that super senior year. So you've got these smaller schools that have leveled up because they have guys who've been inside the system for so long. They're not just 22-year-olds; they're 23 and 24-year-olds who are in their 6th and 7th season of the weight training program, of the strength and conditioning programs. And that is allowing schools like Boston College and Wake Forest to rise up with some of your more traditional blue bloods, think Clemson, and even what everyone was thinking UNC was going to be, to kind of be on the down this year.
Yep. And then you have guys that'll be at them programs that would technically be a sophomore, but now they're like freshmen and they've been in school for 2 years already. You know what I'm saying? Like somebody get redshirted, then they get a COVID year. They've been in the program 2 years and now they consider the freshman.
You can be a freshman now.
Yeah. So now you got guys and they're going through their sophomore years. They've been in school 4 years. So you're not playing against a sophomore that's just his first time out there. Like he knows the playbook just as good as anybody.
Man, that's great stuff, guys.
But the Tar Heels struggled versus Georgia Tech, though.
Yeah.
At least my guys won, man. LSU, man, we back on the road, man. We like 3 since our lopsided UCLA game, man. We finding a way, man.
Look,
we got Florida this weekend, so it's gonna be a big test for us this weekend.
I'm a Florida State fan, so I don't even know where to begin.
Who?
Who? Hey, I don't even think I want to say
begin.
that publicly.
But you can't call me bandwagon. You cannot call me bandwagon, though.
How you feel about losing to Jackson State?
The other guy on our staff whose favorite football team is Miami. His favorite NFL team is LA because there's a lot of commonality between those two schools. Probably likes Duke and men's basketball, and the Lakers.
He told me he like Indiana in men's basketball,
and the New York Yankees in baseball, and Manchester in soccer.
Which is weird, seeing them lose to Jacksonville State. I was like, the previous year they played them, it was a close game and they barely beat them then. But yeah. I'm like, man.
And then it's how y'all lost too. 0 effort.
Yeah, on a Hail Mary.
It wasn't even a Hail Mary.
Jacksonville State.
He ran like 40 yards after the catch.
Oh yeah, that's.
It wasn't even a Hail Mary.
Jacksonville State.
It just looked like it.
Let me ask, who in the hell plays cover 1 in a Hail Mary situation?
The Seminoles. But it wasn't really a Hail Mary. He caught he ran. He ran.
Hey,
because they're in cover 1.
Hey, I think what Florida State is trying to do they're trying to hold on for Deion for primetime to win like some type of championship down there at Jackson State. And then he gonna bring him and his sons with him to Florida State.
And, well, at least
I don't know if y'all can survive 3 years like this because they gonna be ready to kick y'all out of the ACC.
Yeah, they trying to. I know there's some backroom conversations going on with Deion. I'm certain of it. I'm certain of it.
Yeah, but I don't see Deion leaving Jackson State right now.
He won't
because his sons are there, and one of them is already transferred one time. So if he transfers again, he gonna have to sit out. So I feel like it's gonna be too much of a like. I mean, obviously, I know he wants to leave where he's at in a good place, but I don't think he wants to take over Florida State right now because I feel like it's a lot of things gonna have to change if he wants to come there.
Yeah, they're in disarray right now, but I think eventually, long term, a few years out, he wants that job.
Yeah, but I can say about 4 years.
Start somewhere though.
Yeah, I can say about 4 years.
So that's a lot of great talk here. Let's get a couple comments up on the screen right here. So first of all, Kyle Smith, can we just slime Cowboy fans for being Cowboy fans?
Don't worry, I am.
Yes, that can happen.
Slamming Cowboy and Eagles fans.
We're gonna start with Terrell Pinckney, who said the Panthers' undefeated streak will end this Sunday. Man,
how do we even let people like that on this show, Pat?
I don't know.
Kept letting all that negativity in, man.
I mean, we got other craziness. Adolf Hitler 666 posted, and now we got this crap.
Hold on, we had what?
I deleted. Well, you can still see it on Facebook, I guess, but I
no, you can't. It ain't over. You should have.
You know, that's the second week in a row I had somebody like that. So I think someone is trying to sabotage Football Focus Weekly.
I bet you I know who, but I won't get into that.
I'm not talking though, and I'm not pointing any fingers.
But since we on college football, I gotta give a shout out to the Aggies for winning the Aggie Eagle Classic for the 4th time in a row. So
yeah, that is. I feel like A&T needed that win to get this program back going on the right track because it's been a lot of. Because I mean, I was just gonna agree, bro. I got a lot of friends from A&T play football there. I feel like I ain't gonna say that I feel like they got too big for their britches, but I feel like a lot's riding on this season for them making the move to a different conference. They're not necessarily, so to speak, the alpha dog, but they're trying to bring their new ways. And I feel like that first week against Furman kind of woke them up a little bit.
It's a reality check. You know, this first game in Big South. So you're right. They definitely needed that win to get some momentum going.
I think it's just a different style of football. See, the Big South ain't none of that showboat flashy. You know, let's see, man. Let's see if my guy better than your guy. It's more of a you have to guess and prepare right for us.
Definitely.
Yeah, so other comments, Professor, you getting some love. Scott Curtis said Professor nailed it. Damian Jackson said bingo, Coach Ken.
The GOAT, man.
Take that.
Put Damian Jackson's comment up. There we go.
There you go. There you go.
Scott Curtis sharing one of the schools they visited had 8 QBs on the roster with 5 seniors back for COVID years.
Like why are you even coming back? Transfer.
Yes, if you want to play. Good Lord.
I would
unless I'm at Alabama.
You know what? Those are kids that know they're there for their education. They know they're going to go to law school, med school. They know they have no aspirations to go to NFL, and they're just there for their education.
But I'm saying, 5 senior quarterbacks though, 5 seniors. There's no way all y'all playing on Friday night. I'm going to make that very clear. Making it very clear. There's no way a team plays 5 quarterbacks unless they get 1 snap apiece.
That's what I was getting ready to say.
I know if I'm in. I know if I was a senior ain't play out here, I'm throwing a vertical first play. I'm gonna let somebody know, get some type of film out there. Let somebody know.
Yeah. My good friend John Fage chiming in. What's up, Bat? From Charleston, coach at James Island High School with Coach McCoy. Used to be at Hunter Huss. Doing a good job down there, man. Scott Curtis, final comment. Ivy kids don't transfer. They want the name on the degree.
Oh, it's an Ivy League school. I didn't know you said that.
Yeah, that makes even more sense.
Hey, man, get that degree. Get that degree. Have a little fun playing football while you're at it.
All right. Well, now we have reached that time in the show. And I think he is very fired up and intense. So this might be a special segment of Slime time with Kenneth.
You know, Pep, it's been such a great week for growers of turf type tall fescue. This time of the year is the state championship, the national championship, the Super Bowl, the first week of October, where you go out, you plug your yard, you throw some seed, you throw some 18-24-12 starter fertilizer, you throw some extra goodies on your yard, you throw some peat moss on your yard, and then you watch the most beautiful green little things start to pop up off the ground. And these fools at Hulu, let me tell you something. We've talked about this on the show. I have Hulu for one purpose and one purpose only. It is only during football season so I can watch live football. But Hulu continuously jacks everything up all summer long. Every single month, I was charged an incorrect price. We finally got it straightened out. And then this morning, I'm up early, way before the rooster starts crowing, because I got to wet my seed, because when the seed is wet, you want to keep it moist, not too wet, but you also don't want to let it dry. And I was out early. And while I'm doing that, I'm waiting for in between because I don't have a fancy sprinkler system, so I got to manually move it. I turn on Hulu because I have The Office saved on there. Why? Because The Office is the greatest show of all time. And when I go to click for The Office, it's not on there. And I'm searching. And I click on The Office, and it says, you don't have access to this. You have to pay for live television. And I think to myself, I have live television. So then I go to click on Sports Center, and Sports Center is not available. It says I have to pay for live television. And then I look on my bill, and sure enough, I just paid $64.99. $64.99 to Hulu for live television with DVRs, and I still have to sit through stinking advertisements, even on streaming shows. So I've been on the phone with them for the past 45 minutes instead of being on the greatest show on the interwebs, as one cowboy Joe would say. I've been going back and forth with effing Hulu. Instead of running outside to move my sprinklers around, I've been going back and forth to Hulu. And I have one demand to make it correct. Give me my money back and give me my free month. That makes sense. 45 minutes, this guy just kept saying, I'll check on that. I'll check on that. I'll check on that. No, sir, I need you to check on that. Have you checked on it yet? I'm going to check on that. Well, when are you going to check on it? You're going to check on it today, tomorrow, next week, next month, too, because I have a good memory. I'm screenshotting all of our chats. And he said, I'm going to check on that. And finally I said, dude, you keep saying I'm going to, but we've been on the phone together for 30 minutes. You haven't checked on it yet, have you? Nah. Hulu, you deserve to be slammed, to be thrown up against the wall. Hulu, you deserve for Shaq Thompson and Aaron Donald to smash you together, just pow, like the Incredible Hulk, what Knox just got for his Halloween costume. Good night, Hulu. I should be in a good mood tonight because I got grass coming up. The Queen, who you slamming on tonight?
Well, I don't know if I can quite, follow that one. But I'm sliming David Tepper. And I'm hoping that this will be the last time that I'll have to slime my Panthers during an active NFL season. But for those who don't know, they let go of my quarterback, and I'm still feeling the type of way about that just because he never had enough time to do what he needed to do, I feel like. And now he's sitting over there in Denver looking quietly good at 3-0. And I'm wondering why we even, why we did that in the first place. Like, I get, you wanted us to put our faith in Sam Darnold. And Sam Darnold has not been a bad quarterback for us. He's actually been the opposite. But I'm just saying, I feel like you did my boy wrong, and now he over there telling us to suck on it. And I'm feeling some way about it. So David Tepper, I got to slime you just one more good time for letting my boy go, because I felt like y'all did him dirty. And now he's showing you what he could have done over somewhere else. Like most players that leave Carolina do. They go somewhere else and they get a trophy. I'm not saying he's going to get a trophy because they still going to have to deal with us. But I'm just saying, so that's my slime.
Well, I agree with Simon David Tepper. You know me. I did want to get rid of Check Down Teddy as much as anybody. The producer. Who are you sliming on tonight?
So
I'm looking at some headlines, looking at even the games I don't watch periodically, on Saturdays. I check at the headlines, look up some stories, kind of just checking in on the scores. So I got a slime, Mr. Kayvon Pope, who played for Ohio State, played past tense, but decided he wanted to quit mid-game, like literally just walked off the field. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, the coaches were going to sub somebody in for him. He got upset and literally, walked off the field, quit mid-game, and that's just you got to get slime, man. It's just something you don't do. You don't, you can be mad at coaches, but you don't quit on your guys. Those guys you sweat with, on the practice field day in day out. You just don't quit on them like that, man. And surprisingly, somehow, Ohio State's leaving them on scholarship at least for the rest of the semester. Despite it, but that's pretty shameful to just quit on your team like that, man. I don't care how I don't care how upset you get. So, Kayvon Pope, got to slime you, man. I'm sorry. Actually, I'm not. I'm not sorry at all.
Could you imagine being that dude's mama and being at a game in Columbus and seeing your baby boy walk off the field, take his helmet off, take his shoulder pads off? And if anybody's ever seen college football players take their shoulder pads off or their jersey off, it ain't an easy process. It's a two-man job. So he's over there struggling to get his stuff off, and he throws it on the ground, and then he goes into the huddle, and he tweets out what he tweets out. What a knucklehead that dude is. Big Shelby in the house. Who you saw, man? I hope it's somebody who says that they should be ranked higher than Big Shelby. Who you got, Coach Webb?
Man, I'm actually sliming. I'm not sliming any of our opponents this time or people feel like they're better than us. I'm going to slime Gaston County, man. We got a away game against Holland Tech this Friday, man, and they had to move the game to Hunter Hus because their stadium is not equipped to hold more than 500 people, and I feel like that is terrible for a program to have to miss out on a home game, especially having Big Shelby come to town, or just having to miss out on the home game because their facilities are not up to standard, man. I feel like coaches put in a lot of work throughout the week, painting fields, a lot of stuff. If you're a coach, you can't even put in the words all the stuff you have to do. And just to hear we can't accommodate your opponent, so we need to move it because your stadium is not, good enough. I feel like, man, it's terrible that any high school has to move their game because of something wrong with their facilities. I feel like I understand why everybody can't have at least the basic 100-yard football playing field with some bleachers. So I don't really understand why they can't have that. Like, even I know they said their field ain't even regulation from what I've been hearing. So I just feel like, man, it's terrible for a team that has to go through those things. Now it's getting publicly put out, so it's like, it's just really crazy that we have to move a game because the facilities are not up to date. And it's 2021, man. Like, I'm not saying give them a turf field, but I'm like, they should have somewhere to play home football games no matter who comes into town.
Wow. I thought it was only CMS that did schools wrong. Good night. That's crazy, Coach Webb. Last but not least, I think is all we got left. The Pep Man, the leader of the greatest prep football internet show in the Southeast, the most influential man, one of the top 45 under the age of 45. And ladies, he is single and looking to mingle. So hit him up at @PepMan or something like that on Twitter, on Facebook, on Instagram, on TikTok, on Tinder, on Kimball, on Tuna Fish, on all of them. He's on all of them.
That's why his internet went out, because there were lies. Those are all lies. The Lord works in mysterious ways. That is hilarious. That should just be the slime right there. But I'm going to be real, not really real. The internet, look, y'all. Now, the Lord has taken him out because it has struck him down, because I am not on all of those apps. I don't even know what tuna fish is. But that's not what my slime is about. My slime is about freaking fast food places once again. They've already eliminated you coming into the restaurant, so that's taken away half of what you have to worry about. You don't even have to worry about taking orders inside your restaurant. All you got is a drive-thru. I go to a drive-thru, I give you a very specific order, okay? I want a sandwich with only 1 or 2 things on it. I get a sandwich today for lunch from this place. Let's just say it's Wendy's. And it's got everything piled on there. I'm like, come on, guys. I know you're overworked. I know you're stressed. But if you're going to do your job, do it the right way. I mean, there are people out here that are lactose intolerant. They got different things they're allergic to. All that good stuff. And you could be messing them up, man. You could be messing them up if you don't get it right. So just take your time and get the orders right, man. We all, we barely get a lunch break now as it is. You want to get the food right when you're eating it and try to enjoy your little 15 minutes that you do get every day. But, yeah, so there you go. So that's the end of slime time. Oh, Kenneth's back. So you see, the Lord struck you down with all them lies. See, that's what you get. That's what you get for telling all them lies right there. The Lord is on Pep Man's side right here. Right here, baby.
The Lord was speaking through Kenneth, and you blocking your blessings.
No. Don't you try to turn that around. No, sir. No, sir. Nah. Mm-mm. I appreciate everybody laughing.
He's uplifting his brother in Christ.
And
you just gonna sit there and crucify Kenneth.
Let's not go
We
there.
must be in the last days for real. We must be in our last days for real. You gonna crucify Kenneth? Wow.
Talk like blessings.
Wow, man.
I appreciate all the comedy.
Kenneth was bringing that manna from heaven.
Thank you, Mr. Curtis. Pep the
Pep the
Bachelor.
Bachelor.
Oh, good night. LaShawn Parks. First time watching the show that I remember, he's laughing. I don't know what tuna fish is.
I was
That's
on the
news
roll.
to me.
He was on the roll. He was
I-
on the
I
roll.
mean-
I'm like
That's
Michael Scott.
crazy.
Sometimes I start talking and I don't even know what's coming out next.
Chris
Right.
Scott laugh. Chris, welcome to the show. I don't know who you are, but thanks for watching.
Hey, Kenneth, that wasn't nothing but a prophecy from Jesus.
Holy
That's what it
Ghost
was.
inspired.
Miss Moten, you are laughing way too much. You got like
Hey.
5 posts with
Hey,
laughing
Kenneth,
emojis
Kenneth,
on it,
when
man.
the Lord
Come on
starts
now.
speaking, you just gotta let it come off the tongue.
Just let it go.
Let it go.
Somebody else to translate sometimes. The tuna fish, I'm
Tell
looking
him.
for an interpreter.
Tell him, Miss Burlow.
Translate.
Tell him,
block your
look, the
blessings.
tuna fish
See?
was speaking how they fed it with 2 pieces of bread and 2 loaves of bread and fish. There it
That's what
goes.
happened. And 10,000 people ate, and there were leftovers. So, Pep,
That
what that's
means love, baby. That
is
means
they're
love.
getting ready to swarm to you like an Axe commercial. The females are coming, and it may be this week at the game. How's your ankle feeling, Pep?
That's what I'm saying.
I'm
Pep,
back
the
in
blessings
service,
are
baby.
raining down.
I'm back in
Melodies
service.
from
Yes,
heaven. See, look,
sir.
you back in service. You ready to walk. You ready to mingle. They ready to
Let me tell y'all something, man. There ain't no mingling going on. I'm taking a break right now. All right, I'm taking a break. I'm putting
Hell,
all my energy into my job and Football Focus Weekly and Charlotte Football and
And that's what a woman like. A man that's working.
Right? Right? Do you have a
You
job?
working. They gonna
You
come
have
up on
your
you.
own
Hey,
business.
That is not true because I've been
Yeah,
working a
exactly.
long time and it has not been successful for me over an extended what it has. Anyway, why are we talking about this? Good night, everybody. Good
Hey, Pep,
gracious.
just put your phone number at the bottom of that registration form.
We're ending the show.